Hey everybody, welcome to Valentine TV. I had to throw this up in here. I saw it earlier, but it's gotta make me feel okay to play it because of the certain languages and the way it's presented and stuff like that, right? Anyway, Gina. Gina, Gina, Gina then wrote the freaking judge. So Diddy, she won't Diddy home. She must miss them motel hotel nights. What is wrong with her? I gotta remember to look in the light, look in the dot, the light. Okay. I be looking down at the picture and at the comments. Sorry. Okay. But anyway, y'all, she wrote the freaking judge. Do y'all think that helped Diddy or hurt Diddy and Gina? Because Gina is on Tasha K. Everybody knows it. Everybody's seen it. She said he stumped uh mm, what can I call it? A baby. Just say it like I just said it. Like yeah, when he stumped her in her stomach, yeah, okay. And when she left, she know it was a little longer, okay. That's why when they was fighting, well, when he was beating her up. That's why she took off running to that other little house that's right across the courtyard or wherever, however it's made. And he followed her over there, okay? And then he started laughing and acting like everything's all right, she said. But that ain't the first time, so, but the one on Tasha K, yes, somebody's gonna send the judge that interview. He probably already got it. But, yeah. Anyway, Gina, girl. She must miss them. She, girl, cause don't you know? When they thought that he was gonna get out of jail, when they thought he was gonna get out of jail after the court hearing, and he was just found when he was found guilty on those two felonies that I heard Young Miami was in Florida waiting for him. So where was you at? Where was you at? Waiting for TMZ to give you the red light? Dang, idiot. I used to feel sorry for her, but Diddy's been gone almost a year. She didn't have time to go to counseling, get her head straight. Cause I know if Cass can get her head pretty straight, this one could have got her head all the way straight. Hey Robert, welcome back. Thank you for coming to keep me company. I appreciate it. Yeah, but yeah, she must. I don't know. The family must be just spoiling you, huh? They must be spoiling Gina to get her to write a note knowing that she testified in front of the grand jury, knowing that she gave sworn statements, knowing she could get in trouble for perjury, knowing she could go to prison. Girl, you're an idiot. Now you're an idiot. I ain't gonna even say you're a victim. I used to feel sorry for you. Not no more. Not no more. You just a plain up idiot. All right. Anyway, let's hear what's going on, okay? Cause I just started. Okay, but I know y'all. I know all y'all know what's going on already, cause y'all know I'm always the last one. All right, anyway, here we go. Let me go ahead and play it. Let me make sure I'm up here. Okay.
Oh my God, you guys, come in, sit down, and shut the door. Gina?
Lord, I forgot to tell y'all the reaction is coming from TISA Tales on YouTube.
Hahn might have gotten Diddy in even more trouble, and she might even have gotten herself jammed up with some charges. Y'all sit down. We got to talk about this. Listen, if you guys don't know, Gina Hahn did two things today. Well, three. One, she exposed herself to be the biggest dum-dum in history. Second of all, she outed herself as victim number three. Okay? And on top of that, she literally wrote an impassioned letter to the judge saying her man, her man, her man. However, we all know that Gina is already on the Khloe Kardashian time. She will clock in and put on that clown nose and dance for a couple of dollars. We hope it's a couple of dollars. She might have been dancing just because. All right. But the thing is, legal insiders are saying Gina is playing a dangerous game and she doesn't realize that Sean Diddy Combs just walked her down the path that could have her sitting in jail next to him. Because at the end of the day, Diddy is a desperate man and he really doesn't care. Okay. Now, listen, this is what my sources are telling me. Let me know what you think. Okay. Now, here's the thing people are saying that Gina is playing a dangerous game because she could get charged with
Yep.
Section 18 USC 1512 witness tampering. Okay. They said that she could actually get charged with not only witness tampering, but making false statements to the government and obstruction of justice. And baby, these crimes, if the government can prove it, carry heavy penalties, okay? Witness tampering, depending on the severity, up to 20 years, up to 10 years, or up to 5 years for attempting to persuade a witness to lie, withhold testimony, or not appear. Get this. If feds believe that Gina was bribed, manipulated, or knowingly submitted false statements or testimony, the letter, she could face up to 10 years, especially.
It wouldn't. It wasn't false. She just like changed the mind and she's trying to drop her part of the charges, but she can't do it now. It's too late, girl. It's too late. You are Gina. What? And then the PR stunt y'all did when it was about time for them to give the verdict. All of a sudden, you walking from a little shopping center, TMZ happen to be there to see you. You are, and you didn't even have groceries. Do you think Sean Diddy Combs will? Aren't you scared? No, no, he wouldn't bother me. Girl, shut up. Girl, he will not. He gonna get you anyway. No more protecting you, Gina. Because if he was to get out, he was going to Young Miami. Are you crazy? He didn't got her about grown too. But don't worry about it, cause you about to go where Diddy going. That's what's gonna happen to you. Cause that prosecutor's the new one. You better be glad Comey gone, cause she would have got you, girl.
The letter, she could face up to 10 years, especially if it was part of a coordinated effort to obstruct justice. Oh, it's more. False statements to the government. Okay? If Gina's letter contains knowingly false information submitted to the court, prosecutors could charge her with making a false statement in an official matter. There is up to 5 years in prison plus fines. This includes written statements like letters to the judge, especially if filed as part of a bail motion, and also obstruction of justice. This covers a broader act of interfering with the due administration of justice, including lying in official proceedings, influencing witnesses, and attempting to corrupt a judicial process that carries up to 10 years in jail. So, baby, so what's the bottom line, right? If the feds believe that Gina lied in her letter to the court, was financially influenced to submit it, and or failed to cooperate with a subpoenaed appearance, then she could absolutely be indicted for witness tampering, obstruction, or false statements and face up to 5 to 10.
Meek Mill, what's up? What's up, Daddy? Boy, every time I see Meek Mills, I think of him in that damn pool. Y'all know what I'm talking about in the pool. Like you said, where your daddy? Daddy. Whatever you say, daddy. Anyway, y'all, listen, Gina, it's all about you right now, though. Girl, you are about to. Oh, you. You must not be scared to go to prison. God, me, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm just scared. If the police pull up in my yard, I'm scared because even though I ain't done nothing, I just don't like them in my yard around me. I talk to you at the store, say, "Hey, how you doing, officer?" That. But you messing with the feds? Are you crazy, girl? But after you heard all the testimony about what Diddy does with the after stuff, ugh, girl, you you maybe that's you too. Maybe you like that. Mm, you must like it rubbed on your chest too, huh? Ugh.
False statements and face up to 5 to 10 years in prison, depending on the charge. And remember, and this is the big thing that people need to remember, and this is what Diddy might not have counted on. The bigger risk is for Diddy. If they can prove that he was the source of pressure or payment, then he gets hit with obstruction, witness tampering, and maybe new charges, especially if Gina gets immunity to testify against them. You guys, I do not think that Diddy thought that letter was good.
Gina, did y'all just hear it? Excuse me, y'all. Darn. As soon as I hit record, I had a darn hard headache. That's what took me so long to come on. Had to give me some goodies. They ain't kicked in yet. But anyway, um, Gina May, I'm gonna tell you this. Now they tell Gina, look, girl, hey, they put them handcuffs on her and say you obstructed just whatever, whatever. But once them braces, I ain't never had none. Thank God. But once they put them hands behind your back, all that stuff, Gina gonna be like, what? I didn't know. Oh, I tell it. Yeah, okay, I testify. Did he? Then, hey, that's gonna be the nail, the true nail, cause she gonna tell everything, cause she seen it all. She know what you said. You told, well, Miami said that all she had to do is tell you, and you would make her come over there, and you know what? You know what I'm saying, man? Y'all just crazy. Young Miami got him Gina. Well, none of you got him except for the men in the jail. But if he was out, Gina, girl, be the same old, same old.
Going to turn out the way it did. Now, let's actually sink down deeper into it because it needs to be talked about. Now, you guys need to remember Gina was listed as victim number 3, but she refused to testify. She was the one named. She gave testimony in front of a grand jury. She gave testimony in front of the netizens on Tasha K when she outlined his brutality. Okay? But she was not called as a witness in the federal case. She refused to testify. She disappeared during key moments, okay? She popped out to do a pap stroll at TMZ when she was supposed to be missing, talking about, I don't think he's a danger. And it's rumored she's been financially supported by Diddy, rent, legal fees, and all that message, all that other stuff, right? Now, you remember this happened during the trial. Again, let me break it down. She was one of the main witnesses in the case. They would call her material witness. She was named as a victim and she was subpoenaed to come in. And suddenly she reappeared with a glowing letter of support. Again, this isn't just a character reference. This is, somebody would say, a strategic piece of evidence designed to directly undermine the prosecution's theory of danger to victims. The problem is, Gina was one of the alleged victims prosecutors had previously suggested Diddy may have threatened, bribed, or intimidated. So now that she's suddenly reemerged on Diddy's side, it creates a perception of witness tampering, even if it's subtle or unspoken. That's the first thing that Diddy got a problem with. Okay? Now, people have been saying, yo, Diddy got to her. She disappeared when they needed her and came back when he could help them. And this is witness tampering, pure as day. They're even saying if she wasn't paid off, this looks horrible. Again, a woman who ghosted the federal government just pops up with a signed letter for the guy she said not just hurt her, but tried to stomp a billion out of her. And we're supposed to believe this? Again, Diddy don't care. He don't got nothing to lose. But the fact that Gina got walked, well, who knows? She might have did this on her own. She either got walked into this or she knowingly wanted to make a fool of herself with this. Again, this does not look good for Diddy because it's going to backfire.
Why did it if it was all nice and he wanted somebody to speak all nice for him? Why he didn't get Young Miami to write a letter? Not saying that she hasn't. I'm just saying that would be the one I would expect. Cause see, he was just now grooming her. He hadn't tapped her yet. He hadn't tagged her, as far as we know anyway. You know, he was still grooming and romancing her. But everybody else, they got them bows. Let me leave me alone. Let me, I'm sorry. Lord, forgive me. Gina just makes me sick. That's it. That's why I put nut in my reaction. Okay? That's a nut. I no longer see her as a victim. I no longer feel sorry for her. I put it like that. I don't feel sorry for you now because you had time to go to counseling, whatever you had needed to do, okay? Evidently you didn't do it. You're on the side of Diddy. You're nasty. I mean, when they asking for medical records, and then you already know if you've been to the doctor what's up, right? I don't know what's up. I ain't saying nothing up, y'all. So don't quote me on that. Huh? But the point of the matter is, Gina, you done been to the gynecologist. You know. You know. You know. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah. I ain't gonna go off on nothing else. I'm always thinking of something else to say. But that's okay. I'm gonna leave it. I ain't gonna say nothing else. But you are crazy. You a nut. You a nut. Look right beside. Look at the computer right now, y'all. That's who Diddy would have been with if he would have got out. I ain't saying he wouldn't have found somebody else that looks more like Cassie and Gina and Jane Doe, but he'd have had the token on the side, right? Like always. Y'all women are crazy. Y'all girls.
I know they thought this letter was meant to help, and I think Diddy's desperate now that Trump said he ain't letting him out at all. But if you put it into context, my sources say it confirms what the prosecution had already warned the judge about, that Diddy has power, influence, and financial reach to silence or sway his accusers through fear, money, or manipulation. The feds can easily go up there and be like, see, Judge Aaron, this is exactly what we meant. We said he was tampering with witnesses. Look what happened with victim number 3. And again, even if Diddy can make the argument that this letter is technically legal, it could function as proof of the main problem. The defense is saying, look, Gina says he's not a danger, even though Gina said a lot of stuff. Ain't nobody coming to hear you sing, Otis. But the prosecution can now definitively say, and Your Honor, we just watched them in real time neutralize another victim.
Right.
That's the danger. Again, some people are saying that the feds can go after Gina, but they got to be careful about it because the way they could get her is she is a material witness. Okay? She was a material witness. Now, the material witness. this is again, I don't think Gina saw this coming. And I don't think Diddy. Everybody's talking about, oh my God, I hope they bring state charges up. I hope they get I do hope they get them on state charges. But baby, by writing this letter, they might actually have Diddy on enough to get federal charges. And now that Trump has signaled he don't care, you wasn't on the winning team. Nah, nah, nah. Now that Trump has literally said to Diddy that he is on his own, I mean, who's going to stop him? Now, again, let's get
The point, yeah, I always say, yeah, TISA, I say state charges, that's so he can't get immunity. And then start throwing them federal charges on top of that state, okay? I just don't want him to be able to get a pardon for nothing. If he get a pardon, anywho, I about forgot what I was supposed to say. But yeah, I want all the charges. I want everything he did to these freaking women. You know what I'm saying? And minions that I know is coming up. It's coming up, buddy. Can't wait. That's what people ain't seeing that's on the way. That's why you want to get out so bad so you can flee. Because you already know. You already know what's up. Just leave the minions alone. That's it. And let me see. I forgot what else I was gonna say, y'all. I need to start writing. I need to start writing my stuff. But I like to just talk. I talk. I say what I gotta say. But yeah, I think that's it. With Gina, you gonna end up. I got a feeling right beside, not right beside him, but y'all might be able to send kites to each other. I have heard about the kites through the toilet and write the letter and that. He probably wouldn't even take you there and kite, girl. He'll probably put return to send on it. Anyway, y'all, I'm done with this. This was I done? Let me see.
back to Gina being a material witness.
Sorry.
Under 18 USC section 3144, a material witness is someone whose testimony is essential to the case or unlikely to appear voluntarily. Now, we all know that Gina was not only essential to the case, she was named as one of the victims. And I do honestly believe that if Gina had bridged the gap, I think they would have gotten him on the SMEX trafficking. I really do. But a fool and his dummy are never parted. If both are true, and I believe they are, the court can issue a material witness warrant. Again, that would be to detain or compel testimony. Okay? However, being listed as victim number 3 in the indictment, that was already enough. Think about it. The prosecution meant to call Gina and made a case where her testimony was.
Y'all remember when she just boldly like out of the blue, instead of being victim number 3, she talking about I want to use my full now. I want to use my old name. She just wanted them to know who she was. That's it. And then that's when all this nutty stuff started. That's when she disappeared, lawyer disappeared. Man, that's yeah, she's the one. I want to use my full name. I don't need to be no Jane Doe. Man, y'all are victim number 3 or whatever. Yeah, I remember she came out and said that crazy mess. They should have left her as a doe. She probably still would have ran. And that is it. I'm so mad at Gina. I hope they, girl, messing with the feds. You messing one of Trump's, Trump didn't put his man as the head of the prosecution. That's how I know Diddy ain't going nowhere.
Was explicitly identified in filings as a victim. She not only was referenced, but she testified before the grand jury. She was expected to testify. She refused to appear and then disappeared. Her lawyer even disappeared. The lawyer Diddy was paying for. And now she suddenly reappeared to write a letter. Baby, this is textbook setup for material witness issue. Again, she was subpoenaed. Her absence weakened their case, and she had material info about the charge, the violence, the coercion, the past abuse. They can, and my sources say they may, argue that since she was a material witness who evaded appearance, they could pursue obstruction or witness tampering charges depending on what they actually have proof happened behind the scenes. You guys, this is a strategic problem for Diddy. Even if there's no money trail to Gina or one that they can prove yet, her letter contradicts earlier accusations, undermines the prosecution, and confirms that what they warned the court about, the influence over victims. If they believe Gina was paid, pressure, or coaxed into silence, her reappearance may backfire hard and trigger a reopening of obstruction or tampering investigations with Diddy, or a motion to disregard her letter as tainted, or even a grand jury scrutiny of her and Diddy's financial relationship. Again, you guys, this is bad for Diddy. And I can't believe that they even tried to do that. Again, people make legal, and there's also a moral argument people aren't actually paying into. Okay? Gina's saying, I don't think he's an issue. Baby, a victim's forgiveness does not erase Diddy's danger to the general society. Nobody cares if you don't care about getting drop kicked in the face, Gina. Diddy can't be drop kicking women in the case. Oh well, right? This is not Gina v. Sean Combs. It was America v. Sean Combs. Because what's on trial wasn't just what he did to her, it's what he represents, a system where power and money let men brutalize women and walk away clean. Even if Gina forgave him, you guys, it wouldn't be an argument. We don't legalize abuse just because someone's learned to live with it. Gina's writing this letter isn't proof Diddy's not dangerous. It's proof his reach reaches further than we thought. And you don't get to drop kick someone in the mouth and then have them apologize for bleeding. Gina may be okay with it now, but what message does it send to the next girl? This case was never, and it's no longer about whether Gina feels safe. It's about whether any of us should feel safe in a world where power buys silence, where abuse gets framed as misunderstood love, a modern love story, and where influence becomes immunity. Baby, listen, Gina's a dummy for doing this. But again, I think she's doing it because she wants to do it. And again, people can say Gina's a victim, and I truly do believe that Gina might be the victim. But at a certain point, when the victim sides with the devil, baby, you the ops, and we got to treat you as such. Listen, let me know what you think in the comments. But my
She's the ops, y'all. She is the freaking ops. That's the way I see it. I ain't got time for Gina. Yeah, yeah, Rob. I was scared to like move the thing. I'ma do it. I was just so scared. But anyway, Robert had some good. Um, yeah. Okay. Yeah, women don't need to give men all their power. And what else? Yeah, what was his so-called friends at? And Kanye comes up in his all white just to remind him of the all white parties and the whatever they call the. You know what happens after the all white party? Y'all know what's up. Yep. Let's see. Last one. Oh, that's right. Robert said he ain't no friends with no guys who put their hands on women and abuse them. That's right. And me either. And if I find out that's the end of the friendship, hey, I get ghost. Well, I don't hang with nobody anyway. But anyway, thanks y'all. I see you in the bushes. Y'all can say hey to me if you like. Look, they jumped off. Probably with my two sons. No, they still here. Hey y'all. While you here, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it so much. And I also have, I forgot what it's called again. But anyway, y'all just hit the subscribe button. And if you like the video, please hit the like button. I appreciate it so much. All right, and I'll see y'all in a few minutes. I think I saw something. I'm not sure. If I saw it, I probably already told you about it, huh? All right, I love y'all. See y'all later. Thank you, Robert, for keeping me company as all the way. Appreciate it. One day you gonna show your face, ain't you, Robert? Huh? All right, I'll see y'all later.